On January 7th, 2020, Jamal Francique left his home at approximately 7:40 p.m. Jamal walked 200 meters to his vehicle, which was parked around the corner of his complex. What Jamal did not know was that the Peel Police Drug Squad had Jamal under surveillance and were positioned around his home. They believed Jamal was dealing drugs and breaching his bail conditions. Instead of contacting uniformed officers to attend and arrest Mr. Francique, since there was no reliable evidence of drug activity, the Peel Police Drug Unit formulated a plan for an extremely high-risk undercover takedown of Mr. Francique, utilizing 6 plainclothes officers and unmarked vehicles at night when visibility was diminished. This was Jamal's house, where he lived with his mother, Anne-Marie. At the dead end of the road is where undercover officers were waiting for Jamal to exit his home. In the parking lot, just south of his home, was another undercover officer waiting in a plainclothes, unmarked police vehicle. As Jamal left his residence, he began to walk east towards where his Acura was parked. Police did not approach Jamal at this time and let him walk the 200 meters to his car, which took approximately 2 minutes. When Jamal approached his car, he got into the driver's seat and began to reverse out of his parking spot. The undercover officer that was supposed to block Jamal in before reversing was late in doing so, ultimately letting Jamal reverse. This is when Peel Police undercover officers began to attempt to block his car with unmarked undercover police vehicles. None of these vehicles were marked with police on them, so Jamal probably thought that these police officers were people trying to rob him. The subject officer exited his vehicle and told the SIU that he was standing in front of Jamal's car. He then stated that he fired 4 shots only at the windshield of Jamal's car, shooting through the front windshield towards his head. What you are about to see is a video taken by a witness who lives across the street. According to this witness, the officers were yelling at Jamal, and then the ETF officers went in and began to break all of the vehicle's windows. In doing so, they destroyed crucial evidence of gunshot holes that entered Jamal's vehicle.
SWAT teams here.
After reversing out of the parking spot he was in, and after being shot, Jamal's Acura struck a garage while an unmarked police vehicle rammed his vehicle from behind. It took the police 25 minutes to tend to Jamal, knowing he had been shot in the head. Mr. Francique was then transported to St. Michael's Hospital, 37.8 kilometers away and 33 minutes away. Instead of being taken to Credit Valley Hospital, which was only 2.3 kilometers and 5 minutes from the scene, Mr. Francique remained unresponsive from the time he was shot. And 2 days later, on January 9th, 2021, Mr. Francique died as a result of being shot.
Are there no bullets in the car?
No, they probably picked them up.
No, but I mean like that shot the car.
I think that.
I don't see
That's what I'm
bullets in the
saying.
car.
That's no, they shot through the window.
I have a picture. Remember I showed you?
Yeah, that's what I was saying,
That's why
but I
they
don't
broke
see
that
it.
window. They broke that window.
They only shot through the windows, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they shot
And
the
they
film.
broke. And this is where they shot him. Yeah.
Back here.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Look at this.
What's that?
It's a dent. You can see where the bullet grate. Look.
You see? You see? Look. There's fucking blood on the windshield.
Look at the airbag.
Look at all the blood. There's blood on the fucking windshield, bro.
The glasses, yeah? The Versace's went in there?
I don't see them.
Did you open? Oh,
I opened that and then I opened that.
they're not in there?
I don't see them.
Are they in the oh, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, there was only change and bras or something in there.
So they literally took my glasses. Okay.
Maybe SIU thought it was his. What's that?
So the more evidence I looked at, the more indiscrepancies began to show. According to the subject officer who shot Jamal, they stated that Jamal was shot from the front of the vehicle, through the windshield. 3 bullet casings were found on the grassy boulevard in front of the vehicle. The 4th shell casing was found to the rear of the vehicle. The SIU offered the explanation that the 3rd bullet entered through the front windshield and somehow hit the roof of his vehicle, ricocheted downward, turning, striking Jamal in the back of his head. There was no mention of a 4th bullet in the SIU report. How is it possible for Jamal to be shot in the back of the head if all of the shots supposedly entered the front windshield, according to the subject officer and the Special Investigations Unit? Someone must have fired their service weapon when Jamal was driving away, striking him in the back of his skull. Photos don't lie. The bullets here entered the rear right passenger door and proceeded through the headrest into Jamal's skull.
It's a dent. You can see by the bullet grate. Look.
Now, under Regulation 673/98, the Chief of Police must notify the SIU if the incident falls within their regulation and mandate. This was not done in Jamal's case. An inspector from Peel Police only contacted the SIU over an hour later. It has to be done immediately. The SIU arrived on scene at 11:25 p.m. That's 3 hours and 40 minutes later, almost 4 hours. And at 1:12 a.m., the SIU met with a police officer on scene who advised they had found a handgun in Jamal's waistband. That officer took that firearm out of Jamal's waistband, which is crucial evidence, and removed it from Jamal's body. The SIU and Peel Police stated in the SIU report that the firearm found on Jamal was found in his waistband. Then they changed their story and said it was found in a satchel located within his car. There was no DNA evidence that Jamal had any DNA or fingerprints on that gun from the satchel. In fact, there were unknown male and female DNA on the handgun that wasn't Jamal's. Over 1 year later, the SIU released the information that they had found a gun that day on Jamal at the time of the shooting. Why the hell would they release that info a year later? The SIU and Peel Police also advised they secured the firearm immediately at the scene, which is standard practice. But if you look closely on the evidence bag, it says it was secured and sealed on January 8th, a day after Jamal was shot.
All I know is I got a phone call from my husband at the time, and he asked me, he's like, what's going on in our complex? I'm like, what do you mean? He said it's surrounded by cops, emergency vehicles, and as soon as I heard that, I just got up from my computer, because, you know, I have black boys. And I ran upstairs and I saw my younger son, Brian Jr., and he was playing video games. And I'm like, where's your brother? And he said, oh, Jamal's in the basement, Mom, playing games as well. So I ran to the basement and Jamal wasn't there. And I started calling his phone, kept going to the machine, and I felt it. I knew it had something to do with him. So I ran outside and I went around the corner where all the emergency vehicles were, and it was all taped off. And I could see the black car, but it was crashed into the house. And I recognized the car.
What kind of vehicle was it?
It was an Acura, a black Acura. And I recognized the car because I could see even the tires. And I couldn't go over there, so I asked one of the officers that was close to me, I asked him, can you please identify that car for me, right? And then there were people outside, because I remember a gentleman said to me, oh, a young man got shot. And I'm like, a young man got shot? And he's like, yeah, I think he's dead, right? The officer went, came back, identified the car, but he told me the person was transported to a hospital, but he didn't know which hospital. And that's all the information I got from them.
The inconsistencies from the Peel Police and the SIU are blatantly inaccurate and disturbing. The subject officer who shot and killed Jamal, in my opinion, fired 3 shots at the windshield, then moved out of the way, letting Jamal's car pass him, then firing 1 more round as the car passed, striking Jamal in the back of his head. That would explain the bullet hole in the left passenger side door. That is the only explanation, but yet the SIU and Peel Police decide to cover it up. With all of the evidence that points at police misconduct, this investigation must be reopened and investigated by an outside, independent civilian agency in order for the truth to come out. I asked Jamal's mother what she would like to say to the Special Investigations Unit, and this was her response.
And to the SIU, I'm asking you to please reopen my son's investigation and give us a fair, thorough investigation, one that will make sense. Please, I'm Jamal's mom. I need to know how my son was shot in the back of his head. I need to know that. It's unacceptable, that report that you released.